Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another thrilling installment to the podcast that you know and you like. At least you like it, right? Or you're having fun? I'm having fun. Morning Drew. I'm Andrew, of course, aka Tank, aka other stuff. And folks, I've got a buddy with me today. Say hello to my good friend, John. Hello, John.
What's up?
John Cole, Steve Austin up in here. Damn it. Fuck yeah, dude. Welcome.
Thank you. My name is Jonathan. I am not a cold snap of a crisp alcoholic beverage.
Fuck yeah, dude. Glad to have you. What are you sipping on over there, dude?
Oh, boy. So this comes all the way from my lovely hometown of Auburn, California. The Knee Deep Brewing Company, fine craft beers, Citra Lights.
Ooh.
See what they got, a little description on the side. Light and bright with big aroma. You are going to love Citrus Lights. Pale ale, a golden, shimmering hue, and subtle biscuit-like malt give way to a crisp citrus hop.
I love a pale ale, man.
I certainly love a pale ale as well. Can you believe you're doing this? You've been doing this for 8 weeks already?
Yeah, it feels good, man. Even I'm kind of surprised. This is the longest I've stuck with just about anything as far as consistency goes. It helps that I have nothing better to do. The world being over and all.
You ready for that 1 year anniversary?
Bro, what is the formal day that LA got shut down? Do you happen to remember? It's like mid-March, right? Like just right around St. Patty's or something?
Correct. It was March 16th, I believe. That weekend, I believe it was the night of the 15th going into the 16th that they shut schools down. I went into work that day for maybe 2 hours just to get stuff. And I distinctly remember that's when the CDC also announced, like, you can't be in a room with more than 10 people. And I was in a room with more than 10 people, and I thought, I need to get the fuck out of here. It was scary. I mean, I'm sure you remember, as we all do, unfortunately, how unreal, unknowing, unsafe everything seemed. You felt like you couldn't touch anything. You felt like going outside was going to be like, that was it. That was a done deal.
Oh, dude.
I mean, it still kind of is that way.
I remember early on I posted a Snapchat of me like waiting in line to get into Target and being like, we're weathering the storm, boys. Wish us the best of luck.
Yeah.
We got our supplies, double fist and Purells. But today I went to IKEA and I was like rubbing my ass on fucking armchairs and shit.
Oh yeah, I'd love to rub my ass on an armchair.
Good to see you, man. Good to hear from you. How you been holding up?
We're doing good. As I said, I was just back in my hometown, the town of Auburn, California. It is, I believe, now more than what it was when I grew up. I believe it's in the 15,000 population, I believe. Fairly small still, having now lived in the greater Los Angeles area for coming on 8 years in August.
Yeah.
Can you believe that, too?
For the folks at home, the way in which John and I know each other is that we both moved down here to attend college, and we were roommates. He kind of reached out to a couple of people and was like, your Facebook seems nice. Will you be my friend?
You want to rub ass on some armchairs with me?
And yeah, we were roomies in college, and then we just like stuck by one another for I think 6 years we lived together.
Yeah, 6 and change. Yeah.
And here we are. And the day we parted ways, a man started munching on some bat skulls.
Can you believe it? We're doing good, though. I'm happy to be back in, like I said, the greater Los Angeles area. It's always nice to visit my hometown, see my folks. Properly quarantined, properly tested ahead of time. Trying to do as much as a civilian could do. But it was good to be home for a few days. I appreciate the drive up I-5. You know, if I had to do it all the time, it would be rough. But, you know, every now and again, it's not too bad. You are a commuter to your hometown. I do not wish to dox exactly where you are from, but
I think I've mentioned a few times that I'm from specifically Salinas, California, outside of Monterey, in the Central Valley, Central Bay kind of area there. If you've ever eaten lettuce, then chances are I know the guy who agricultured it.
Yeah. What about possibly the artichokes up there as well?
Yeah, like when there was the lettuce with the E. coli, I was just like, oh, I'll go talk to him. Hey, what are you doing shitting on the lettuce, dude? Come on.
I forgot there was several months where it was just like all the romaine lettuce that said Salinas, California is being recalled. And I was like, trying not to expose you for being somebody from there, as if you would be the representative to be blamed for that.
And of course, the way in which I was making money at the time was waiting tables at the salad restaurant. And so naturally people were like, and I'll have the salad. And I was like, we don't have salad right now. And they're like, you don't have salad? And I'm like, yeah, my buddy shitted on it.
Yeah, he gone down and rubbed his ass on all that.
Yeah, man. Who put the lettuce on these armchairs? Since I've got you here, I know you're not into that mumbo jumbo star stuff, but as a guest on my show, I insist that I get to take a look at your chart there, man. Your astrology business.
Can't wait.
You're not terribly into that stuff, right?
No, I am aware I am a Capricorn.
Cap City.
Cap City, baby.
Well, we don't have to dwell on it too long because I'm far from an expert, but I enjoy it. It's fun to me. So you were kind enough to give me the time you were born. Were you born in Auburn?
I was not. I was born in Redlands, California, just to the east of us near San Bernardino. I'm not sure if it's exactly part of the Inland Empire.
Oh, that might matter. Let me. Well, I had plugged your information in, but I didn't press submit yet because I wanted to take a guess.
All right. I love guesses.
While I'm plugging your info back in, man, you said you were drinking an ice cold beer. Sounds scrumptious.
Yep.
I'm over here. I was raised Catholic. I don't practice as diligently as I did in the past, but this year I decided to do Lent, which started this past Wednesday, and I decided to go easy on the sauce to give up the booze there.
I heard the last episode. I understand.
Yeah, and so you were born at 8:07?
That is correct. PM.
And you were born in Redlands?
Redlands, California. Not sure of the zip code.
I'm also giving up sparkly canned energy drinks, which it's weirdly specific, but the reason I'm so specific is because I happen to have on hand another stimulating beverage. I don't know if you follow the gamers online, but...
The true gamers.
Yeah, I happen to have a few tubs of G Fuel.
Oh, man.
Yeah, are you familiar?
I've heard of it, yeah.
It's just, the way I sum it up is it's pre-workout, but without the stuff that makes you tingly, and no creatine or any of the muscle building, whatever you call it stuff. It's just caffeine and other stuff that's supposed to help you with, like, focus and blah, 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 blah. In college, you know that I was a sucker for the pre-workout, and I loved, like, powdering shit up and guzzling it and whatever.
Oh, yeah. You were definitely the most diligent about taking your supplements when we were at the peak of our gym-going time.
Yeah, in hindsight, maybe a little stupid, because that stuff is not very strictly regulated, I've since learned.
It could come from Jupiter, and I don't think anybody would really bat an eye. It's like if it gets you just like yoked out of your mind, I think that's what people are looking for.
I'm not going to let the FDA get in the way of my motherfucking gains, dude.
Yeah, man.
But I'm drinking out of G Fuel right now. I have a blueberry lemonade flavored G Fuel, but I'm drinking that. It's pretty good. It's refreshing.
It's tasty.
Yeah. It's a little embarrassing because it's the fucking gamer juice that gamers drink to be good at games.
Now, did you ever have what was the Mountain Dew one? Gamer Fuel,
baby. Noel put that in his top 5. I'll have you know.
That's right. I remember.
I never had it myself.
I distinctly remember playing Halo 3 with some pals when it first came out, and we bought, I think, probably 3 or 4 12-packs. I think they might have come in the box at the time.
Fuck yeah.
That's terrible in a young growing man system. Great time though.
Yeah, so that's what I'm sipping on here, and it's it's got me in a good place. But I have your information plugged in here, so I want to take a guess at what you got. So I explained it a while back, but I'll explain it again. That there's 3 main signs that a person can have. The sun sign, which is the big one, Capricorn in your case, Cap City, GOAT, the goat. Then they also have their moon sign, as well as their rising or ascending. I believe the two mean the same thing. The sun sign, if I'm not mistaken, being the mind, how you think. The moon sign being your emotions, how you feel. And the ascending being kind of the energy that you put forth or how others perceive you. You and I are Capricorns, so we relate to each other in a lot of ways. Ambitious, disciplined to an extent when it comes to work-related things.
To a fault.
And so on and so forth. But you, I happen to notice, are a bit more meticulous about things than I am. For example, and forgive me if I'm airing out your dirty laundry here.
No, dude, do it. Bring all of the several years that we lived together. I need to. I need it.
When you eat your meals, if there are different items, we'll eat each item like one by one, starting with sides. So, for example, if you've got chicken, potatoes, and corn, in no particular order, but I think I'm going to get the order right. You'll start with the corn. You'll eat every niblet of that corn, and then once that's cleared, you'll move to the potatoes. You'll eat every morsel of that soppy stuff, and then you'll move on to the chicken. Is that inaccurate?
What kind of potatoes?
In my mind's eye, they were smashed.
Smashed, not mashed. Smashed, like the little nugget potatoes that you smash down into like that. Okay.
Explain your system.
You got it.
Please.
I do love talking about this. It is you were absolutely right about the corn, and maybe depending on the type of chicken, it may shift in order. But honestly, it's a matter of hierarchy of the my importance of what I think I'm going to get out of it, and it's honestly just all subjective preference. So I recognize that to some people, potatoes might not be. Or a chicken, I guess, in the case would have been last, but it might not be the thing that's most important to them. Maybe they're really looking forward to something else. But I thoroughly enjoy saving what I am most looking forward to for last. Mm-hmm. There's one specific example I will get into in a moment that this always screws me, but for the most part, I start with something that I think I can just knock out and enjoy because chances are, when I'm going in for a meal, hungry. And so I'm going to choose the thing that is either time sensitive, certainly. If I'm eating something that's okay, if I let this get cold, it's going to be awful. I will eat that first. It doesn't matter of the hierarchy. That's one exception. But I will eat the thing that is either time sensitive or I need to kind of knock out to get through the other stuff. And it will taste better in my mind because I am hungry. I am not going to want to. I'm really bad about sometimes leaving little bits of food on my plate because I think I'm too full. But I don't like to waste food either. So when I see that corn left over, I think that's just wasteful. I'm never going to use that little leftover bit of corn. But if I have leftover chicken from the end of the meal, I could probably use chicken in something else. The exception that this always screws me up with is honestly probably my favorite cuisine, Mexican food, because Mexican food is famous for their sides that are also very carb heavy as well as starch heavy. So rice, beans, chips, dips, salsas. I enjoy a Mexican restaurant in the Los Angeles area entitled Salsa and Beer.
Fuck yeah.
If you've not had salsa and beer and you're listening to this podcast, probably you have. If you are a friend of Andrew, you've probably been dragged there by myself or him at some point. Doubt. It is, in my opinion, some of the best Mexican food that is maybe not the most authentic, but it is darn tasty. I get jacked up on that because they serve a dynamite bean dip at the time that you could eat in restaurants that I would get overloaded with on chips. And then by the time the meal would show up, I'm already probably 2 beers and all the chips and salsa deep. And then I always get the same thing. That's another part of my meticulousness is for the most part, unless it's a place I know I'm going to frequent often, you usually just get the same thing every time. I usually will get the cream chicken enchiladas at Salsa and Beer, and it's a combo, and it comes with rice and beans, and I like to mix those beans and rice into a thing, and by the time I get done with that, I'm looking at the cream chicken enchiladas thinking, I don't know what I'm going to do with these. I'm done.
You're like breakfast.
Yeah, exactly. So Mexican food always screws me up because of the big sides that they come with. Did that explain my Hannibal Lecter level of eating my food?
Yeah, I think you're definitely putting forward a case as to why you have some Virgo in your chart.
Okay.
You're very meticulous. You have a method to your madness. You're very thoughtful about the way you do. Forgive me again if this offends you, but you do give off big dad energy.
Oh, yeah, buddy.
Yeah. And Virgo is just the dad of the stars in a big way. And so I think you have Virgo in your chart. I think you are Virgo ascending or rising because I feel like you put that energy out there.
Okay.
Now, as for your moon sign, something I've noticed about you and your character, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, when you've made up your mind that you want something, are almost definitely going to get it, or at least put steps towards getting it.
You probably know this better than anybody, having lived with me those many times. And if I come out of my room and saying, I'm going to go do this, it's because I have decided I'm going to go do it. There's no
Exactly.
I'm thinking about this. Or if I am thinking about it, I'm passive-aggressively pointing it that I really want to do something and just want somebody else to confirm that they want to do it with me.
So I probably don't even need to elaborate further. But for example, like you'll wake up and you'll just have the word donuts in your head, and you will have real donuts in your head.
Yeah.
before you even arrive at your job, more than likely. And so that go-getter attitude, and also that the difficulty with which it takes to talk you out of it, or talk yourself out of it or anything, is reason for me to believe you have Libra in your chart, specifically Libra moon.
Interesting.
Those are my guesses.
All right, so one more time. Capricorn.
Confirmed you're a Capricorn for sure, just based on the day you were born.
Sure.
I think you are Virgo rising or ascending, and I think that you have a Libra moon. That your moon is in Libra.
Okay, and when you click this confirm button, it's just pulling all this just from the time and location of where I was born?
Correct.
Okay. There's no like personality things in there. It's just you're going off of what you assume from what you know of astrology.
Yeah, it's the stars, baby.
Stars, man. It's all in the stars.
I'm clicking submit. Here I go. All right. Capricorn. Your moon is in Libra. Let's fucking go.
Let's go, man.
Your moon is in Libra. Let's fucking go.
Did he do it?
Your ascending is in Virgo, my dude.
Yo, man.
Let's
Look.
fucking go. Okay, so I nailed it.
Wild.
Fuck yeah. I could send you the link if you want to look for yourself, but
Yeah, man. Yeah, send it to me.
oh, fuck yeah, man. I knew it. So what are your thoughts on the matter? How do you feel about what I described? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think it's all a bunch of gobbledygook? Do you have anything to add?
I will probably butcher it from not knowing it off the top of the dome and having only listened to it once, but I seem to remember listening to your buddy Noel say similar things that I feel, or he was eloquating it to a level when I was listening to that podcast that I agree with, is that, you find this stuff to kind of align with, or you think that, oh, that sounds like me, and you kind of decide based on that, but you still can kind of live your life based on free will and choice. In the immortal words of Rush, I will choose free will. And I think that there's been times that I've read horoscopes and thought, oh, that'd be a good day. Or at the end of the day, thought, that was my day, or something. and then, kind of aligned with that. But there's been times I've looked at it and thought, man, that's not happening. And that's, again, that's just from human choice. And you can decide what you want to have in your life, whether you were that or not. Maybe you see that and you zag where it wants you to zig. Yeah. I will say, though, you hit the nail on the head. I'm sure there are people who are listening to this that are thinking, oh, man, that is that dude. But for all the people that do or don't know me, I will say it all is you have a great guess because of the fact that I think we live together and in such proximity. I mean, I was thinking about this before the pod, is you're probably the closest to family I have down here in terms of people that I've lived with, in the sense of having lived with you for so long that by proxy you should know these things, if anything. I would be shocked if you were like very wrong.
Oh yeah, man. And it's reciprocated, man. Like, I've never been very good at reaching out to people and loved ones and stuff, but just know that I do consider you important to me, and that I'm very glad to be talking to you, man.
Oh yeah, me too. I'm happy to be here. Honored.
So, got your chart. The stars have aligned. At this point, I gotta know, man. What are you digging, dude?
The question that I have been waiting for since you asked me to be on this pod. What am I digging? I texted you a couple of things that, by way of general conversation, I think the most organic is something I just texted you right before. This pod is playing video games with my pals, and specifically one of those games is called Phasmophobia.
Oh, shit.
And I recognize it as a popular enough video game. Had you heard of it before I texted it to you?
Yeah. It's a VR game, right? You have to get plugged in?
You don't have to, but it is I'd say preferred, because you get to articulate all of the items that are within the game.
Yeah, I've not played the game itself, but I've seen plenty of videos of people like running around and screaming and stuff. And I've played like a little bit of a couple of horror games in VR. My buddy Arthur back home, shout out Arthur, for Halloween would have like Halloween scary games. And one year we were plugging into the VR headset. I usually am okay with like horror movies a little bit, as long as like I look away and pause it a lot and take deep breaths and like say out loud, "It's not real. It's not real. It's made up."
Yeah.
But like being plugged into the zone and like having to look down the dark hallway and stuff, I had to take the headset off and be like, I don't want to, I don't want to play it, man. I'm sorry.
It's
scary.
It's scary. Yeah, certainly. With movies, sometimes there are ones that really unsettle me. I can get through like zombie stuff. I could get through like Killer in the House. Horror movies I thoroughly enjoy, especially in the months of October. The ones that I don't really like to enjoy are the somebody's possessed, or there's like ghosts, or something in that way. And that is basically the game Phasmophobia, is you are ghost hunting people who are living in a possessed house, and you can articulate these many items such as EMF readers, video cameras. When I first started playing the game with my, shout out to my good pal Roy, and shout out to my good pal Asa, we started playing this game in October. We thought, Halloween games, it'll be fine, it'll be fun. And I will never forget this, I think. The first like 2 games, we didn't know how to play it. We were just trying to figure it out.
Sure.
Definitely thought, this is fine. I mean, we're having a good time. We're playing some other spooky games here. We're just going to get through this and never really think about this game again. And then we played a game where it finally clicked, and we finally figured out how the game works. So to the quickest and best of my knowledge, it is you walk into the house, you try to identify where the ghost is in the house, and then you try to identify what type of ghost it is. And the ghost will turn the lights off. It will creak the floors, and eventually, after you start, maybe not provoking it, but you start to get its attention by one way or another, it will initiate what is called a haunt, which means you will start seeing this ghost as it tries to snap your neck. And let me tell you, when that ghost is chasing you, you could have played 50 to 70 games, if not more, like we have. When that shit happens, that's a bad time. That's a bad place to be.
That's scary.
The goal's always in the game. There's always a chance that you always have to find out what kind of ghost it is, but there's another goal in each match. It's always also random. They always change the type of ghost. They change the look of the ghost each time. So it's not like, okay, here's the same level that we have to hit. And there's like houses, farmhouses, a prison, an asylum. Ghosts always look different. It's always a different type of ghost each time you play. So you never really know what you're getting. And you have to figure out what kind of ghost it is, and chances are you're also going to have to capture a photo of the ghost, which means taunting it until it starts chasing you.
Oh, no.
And I hate
that.
There's always a point in each game where the 3 of us are playing and we think, all right, who's got the most sanity? Because that's how kind of like your health is determined. If you're not just getting your neck snapped in a haunt. Your sanity, whoever has the most sanity, usually is the one that's like, all right, I got to go in. And when you're inside the house, the game auto-initiates this like low white noise hum that is extremely unsettling.
Yeah.
And anytime sometimes a ghost is near you, it can make the like ring like sound, which is unnecessary. But it's been fun. We've enjoyed very much playing. And we've been playing a handful of other games that bring me a lot of joy when I get to play games with them. Yeah, that's, I think, the thing that I would like to say I'm digging Dude.
Yeah, that game, I don't know if I could play that game. That game looks, I don't know if I would enjoy that game. I think I would have a hard time playing that game.
When you were watching the clips that I sent you, was it like putting yourself in the shoes of being in that?
Dude, it was so tense, and like, there were moments where like you're just walking up a staircase and then suddenly Roy is just like, it's behind you. Oh my god, it's behind you. It's behind you. It's
Yeah.
behind you. And then you, and I'm just like, because I can't see either. I only know what he's saying, and you look and there's nothing, and it's like,
Yeah. Well, and when the lights start flickering and the
dude,
and you just hear it coming closer and closer, it's a done deal. It's it's scurry.
I'm glad you're digging it, man. It sounds like a good time with your pals.
I mean, it's always offset by either Age of Empires or what other big game.
Okay, you got a couple of palate cleansers.
Oh yeah, it's always start with something else. There was a time, one of the creeds I had was like, I don't want to become too good at this game where it doesn't become scary anymore. I don't want to be going into this thinking I'm Master Ghost Hunter.
Yeah, that I think I respect that the most. Back when Friday Night Freddy's, Freddy Five Nights, whatever.
5 Nights rubbing your ass with Freddy.
Yeah. I remember watching YouTube man Markiplier playing it. And and at first, yeah, it looked like extremely scary, but then of course he went to like advanced levels to the point where you're just like spamming buttons the whole time to make sure you don't get caught. And it's like at that point it's not a scary game, it's just a spam buttons game. That's not the experience you're supposed to be having.
Yeah, exactly. There are people that I see on YouTube that play Phasmophobia, and they're like, we've been playing the game for 5.5 months, I think, or something, since like September, October, and we're like level 18. And there's people on there that are like level 2,000, and it's like,
holy shit.
I'm just like, that's what you're doing. That's all you're doing. And that's great. Good for you. You're making that YouTube money off of it, but like,
sure,
that's not where I want to be. So,
yeah, I don't know. My relationship with things I like, I don't know. Sometimes I'm a big know-it-all and I like knowing everything and overturning every rock. But when it comes to things that I really like, it's like, I don't know, I kind of like not knowing everything. I kind of like every time I play it's the true experience. Does that make sense?
oh yeah. Well, and the thing I'll add to that is like when you're playing with other people, it kind of helps to be kind of shitty at it, because I don't know if you remember this or if this was your experience, but I remember playing like Call of Duty or Halo when I was a kid, and a better example I guess would be like sports games. I was kind of like one of the only ones of my friends, maybe one or two other people, that played like Madden, and was kind of good at it, but not like true gamer or anything.
Sure.
But when I would play with like the friends that I would have over and play games with all the time, those games were Super Smash Bros. Or sometimes Call of Duty. Whenever we played sports games, I would just wipe the floor with them. And that's the same case where it's like, I think when you are playing a game with other people like this, it helps when everybody's either learning together or there's maybe somebody to explain the game, but you're all still like not perfect at it.
Sure.
When you're the person that's level 2,000, I mean, it doesn't matter what we're playing. You're just telling me what to do and how to.
Yeah. Do you even need other people there at that point, or
Yeah,
do you just
exactly.
walk in, find the ghost, and walk out? And
Yeah, exactly.
I guess there's not much more I wanted to say, so I'll dig on. I'll move on to what I'm digging, man. Here, you want to know what I'm digging, dude?
I gotta know what you're digging.
All right, I wrote down a couple of things here. The first thing that I'm digging is I've been eating a lot of Chinese food.
Hell yeah.
That stuff's great. We got it on Valentine's Day. We bought it from the place not too far from the Fulton apartment where we used to live.
Oh yeah.
Chinese
You got a name?
Delight. Yeah, Chinese Delight, I think it's called. But like, if you drive by the building, it legit looks like someone like sneezed orange snot on the side of the building.
Oh no.
Like, the font is so weird. I'm sure it's in a language that's real, and I'm a piece of garbage man who is disrespectful. But
I seem to remember a similar phenomena with, what was it, Little Ocha, the Thai restaurant that was also down from the Fulton apartment.
wait, oh, maybe that's not the restaurant I got it from, because that is the one I'm referring to. With the gibberish on the side of the. It's not gibberish. It's a real word in a real language, and I am ignorant. But to a dumb, ignorant dillweed like myself, it looks like gibberish. Is that the name of that place? The Little Ochoa?
Yeah, the one that we were at like super late, 3 a.m. It was, or you would go to. There's the one that was. Oh.
There's the Thai place I went to at 3 a.m. Krua Thai. Shout out Krua
yeah.
Thai. That stuff rules. But no, you're right. The Little
right
Ochoa,
across from the Ralph's.
Yeah. I thought that's where I got it from. Shit. Well, it's called Chinese Delight. Shout out Chinese Delight.
Sure. Shout out Chinese Delight. Don't let me derail you.
My great observation was we got it on Valentine's Day and it was a lot of fun. It was delicious. And then a few days later, I was craving it again, so I just like got it again. But we wanted to switch it up a little because we were a little basic the first time. What we got was, and I'll admit this is basic. What we got was we got broccoli beef, orange
Delicious.
chicken, pork chow mein.
Oh. Yeah, hey man,
Tell me that's not.
there's nothing wrong with that. I get it. It's basic, but there's nothing wrong with that.
Tell me it's not good shit though.
It's on the menu and it's good. What's wrong with that? Nothing.
Exactly. And it was great. So the second time around, we were about to get the same thing, but then we both agreed that the orange chicken, we decided we want to try something other than orange chicken. So we got sesame chicken.
Mm.
In my life, I've known sesame chicken to be different from orange chicken.
Yeah.
But what we received was orange chicken with some sesame seeds on it. So I can't help but wonder if it really is just like their version of like white people shit. Like we have this on the menu for the white people.
Oh yeah.
They don't know the difference. What they think they want sesame chicken. What they actually want is orange chicken with sesame seeds on it.
I've had the inverse reaction when I've gotten Kung Pao chicken and it's just been orange chicken with like extra orange sauce.
And maybe a couple of cashews in there or whatever.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I get it because I'm sure they've gotten plenty of phone calls of like, what's this? Oh, you order the sesame chicken, but it's supposed to be orange and sweet.
Yep.
And so they're just like, just fucking give them what they actually want. It's fine. So that was funny to me. But another thing that happened was they sent it to us. It's just the two of us. They give us 4 forks, which, all right, whatever, fine, sure.
I've gotten plenty of napkins and 2 spoons when I go to Baskin Robbins sometimes.
Yeah, and there's like streamers and party hats because it's like, well, obviously you have people over, so.
Yeah,
but,
me, myself, and I.
They give us 4 forks, but they only gave us 3 fortune cookies.
Oh, that's whack. That's awful.
So in this hypothetical world where they thought there were 4 people, they knowingly shorted us a fortune cookie. Now the realness is that we got an extra fortune cookie, and I was very grateful. I was very fortunate, you could say. But I can't help but be angry for this imaginary 4th person that did not get a fortune cookie.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to sound ignorant either, but having worked in food service once, I can also understand the fork situation being I just want to get this order out, and I don't care how many forks go in the bag. Like, sure. They just grabbed a handful of the forks.
Oh, yeah.
But it's pretty whack that you didn't get 4 fortune cookies. Like, there's a conscious effort there. There's a definite understanding that, like, we'll give you that 3rd if in case it was an extra, but no way are we giving you the 4th. Yeah. You're not getting that Taco Bell hot sauce scenario where they grip and rip like 40 sauces into the bag.
That's legit annoying to me. Like, I should be grateful to get extra sauces, but I'm like, I have to wade through this fucking ocean of sauce to get to my fucking chalupa. Well, like, I feel bad throwing it away. We have like several plastic bags of fire sauce just in our cabinet because like I can't get myself to throw it away, and then I never remember to say no thank you when they offer me more fire sauce.
I think I saw once somebody putting it in like a sauce bottle, like the squeezable sauce bottles, so that you just have it on hand. But like, who's got time for that? Like, who's gonna get done with their Taco Bell and do anything else after that? Like, shout out to Taco Bell. I love it. Some of my favorite fast food, but like, I don't want to do anything after I eat it. Certainly not rip a bunch of Taco Bell sauces into a sauce bottle.
Do you have an updated power rankings to your top fast foods?
Top 3 fast foods?
Yeah, no, non-regionals though. Like no In-N-Out, no Shake Shack, any of that foolishness.
All right. Ooh, you're gonna get surprised here because this is a new addition here. So, Taco Bell number 1.
Naturally.
I don't mean to be conditional. This is something I talked about before the pod, but for all the folks at home, I need to be decisive with my answers.
Sure.
However, would you consider Chipotle a regional fast food?
Not regional, but
not fast.
I I
Because you
think
got to get out of your car to go get it. There's no like Chipotle drive-through.
very true. Yeah, I think that's the caveat is that you have to be. It has to have a drive-through.
All right, then. Okay, so Taco Bell number 1 because it is actual food for the most part. Number
Sure.
2, Dunkin' Donuts,
Okay.
and number 3, this is the surprise. Mackey's, Mickey D's, McDonald's. I have had more McDonald's in the last 2 months than I have had probably in my entire life. Actually, that's not true. Probably since I was 7 years old.
For the folks at home.
Andrew's brain is melting.
Yo, John has been vehemently anti-McDonald's for as long as I've known him. This is news to me. Mackers?
Mackey's, the British way to say McDonald's.
Wow.
Yeah.
My buddy Antonio says Mackers. Shout out Antonio.
Shout out Antonio's.
Mackey's is what they say across the pond?
Yes, my loving, sweet girlfriend, Orchid, is from across the pond. And out there they say Mackey's. It is always consistent, for better and for worse, certainly. But when I get a Big Mac at McDonald's, I could go to 7 different McDonald's, and it would be the same Big Mac at every McDonald's. And that's hard to beat. Like, I've gotten, when you get a beefy 5-layer at Taco Bell, as much as I love that burrito, sometimes it's coming out the left side, and sometimes it's coming out the right side, and sometimes it's, like, all the sour cream's on one end. Like, it's not consistent always. And
sometimes that 3rd layer is really doing a lot of the legwork. And, and layer number 4 is kind of falling to the wayside.
Yeah, always consistent. And, man, yeah, it tastes good. I get it. And they've definitely, I think I've realized that going there, in my head originally, it was just nice to have somewhere that I didn't go. I had some self-control somewhere. We're getting real existential now. But I had some self-control on some fast food place. But once I broke the seal, I was like, yeah, this is better than like fucking Carl's Jr.
Yeah, it is.
Dunkin' Donuts, you know me. I got a sweet tooth. I love some donuts, and I love coffee. And occasionally I can get a breakfast sandwich there, and it's open all the time.
Yeah, those breakfast sandwiches ain't nothing to sneeze at, dude. They got a fine sausage, egg, and cheese over there at the Dunkin' Donuts.
Taco Bell is one for everybody, but Dunkin' Donuts is one for me.
Wendy's, Taco Bell, McDonald's. For me.
I was going to guess. I think you were still Wendy's at the top.
Yeah, Wendy's is hard to beat, man. You get yourself a 4 for 4, or if it's your boy, 8 for 8.
Oh, yeah.
And it's great. I love McDonald's. It's delicious. But my one issue with McDonald's...
Let's hear it.
Speaking of consistency. Consistently, this happens to me. My go-to order is that I get a couple McDoubles, I get a couple McChickens. Sometimes I get nuggets instead of McChickens. Depends on the mood, depends on the sales, yada, yada, yada. But
sure,
I typically end up getting 2 McDoubles. And a habit that these McDonald's folks have, and I get it. They're a bunch of stoned teenagers. It's,
It's a right. It's got to happen.
It's cool, man. They're making $15 an hour now. I'm happy for them. But with the pickles, they don't separate the pick. It's always it's got like 2 or 3 pickles on it, but they don't spread it out. It's always 2 or 3 pickles stacked on each other in the middle of the sandwich. And so I've got like all these bites of no pickle and then 1 bite of like 3 whole pickle.
Yeah, man.
Is it really that much more difficult to like use your thumb to like spread them out or something? The answer is yes, and also the answer is they don't care. Why should they care? I'm not going to come back to complain about the pickle distribution.
The other answer too is that there's not much on that sandwich, so there's not much to mask if the pickles are out of order. Yeah. Like it's bun, pickle, sauces, meat, cheese, onions, right? Like that's it. Yeah, like and bun, but there ain't much else on that, so like you can't mask like with the Big Mac where it's got 3 buns and lettuce and cheese and pickles.
Maybe 2 all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions.
I'm getting hungry right now. I don't mean to divulge too much because I recognize there are some non-regional listeners out there, but can we just vamp on In-N-Out for a second? Because I feel like that is, I don't want to speak for you, so correct me if I'm wrong, that is probably your favorite.
I do love In-N-Out, but if I'm being honest, it's not even in my top 3. My top 3 is Honest.
Okay.
Probably top 5. I put it in top five. It's number four. It's top four.
Give me one positive and one con. One pro and one con about In-N-Out.
Always a long line, no matter what. That's a pain in the ass.
I was going to say that's a pro.
Oh, no, sorry. I was starting with the cons.
No, I know. You're good.
Okay, here are the pros. In-N-Out Burger. The cons. Always a long line, which is annoying. I feel like a big asshole making my fucking, what's the shit that, like, they do in diners where you order something that's just like, let me get a cow, runny nose, no horns, fuck it in the ass.
Yeah. Make it cry. Yeah.
Like, I hate being that guy where it's just like, oh, I want my double animal style with extra pickles, and let me get this and a number 9 large extra dip. I hate being that guy, but that's how I get the food that I want to have when I'm at In-N-Out. Is I have to do it, and it's worth it because it's good. But I hate when it's happening.
Yeah, yeah.
Number 5, if you're curious, Del Taco. I've grown to really like Del Taco a lot.
Nothing wrong with that.
We said we were going to bang out a top 3, and then we spent 20 minutes talking about cheeseburgers.
This is for anybody that doesn't know, this is exactly what would happen when we lived together.
Yeah, dude, you'd be standing in that doorway being like, all right, headed to bed, man. And then literally like an hour and a half later being like, all right, man, well, I'm going to head in.
And then an hour and a half from then, all right, yeah, let me put my shoes on and we'll go get food.
Good times, man.
Oh, yeah. I got to shout out my 2 other things that I am digging, dude. Yeah. Letterboxd. I'm trying to spend more time away from my phone.
Sure.
And in doing so, I'm trying to wean myself away from Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and all the social medias that plague us. I've been using Letterboxd, which is a social media app for watching movies. It is just a place for people to record what movies they're watching, make lists of movies they need to see, and write fun reviews, almost as if they're tweets about movies, which is kind of all I want from social media. And like I said, it makes me feel like I'm more diligent about watching the movies that I need to watch.
Does it work like other social media where you have friends and people you follow and stuff like that?
I mean, it's just people you follow. There's no, like, friends.
I see.
Your friends are the people you follow.
Okay.
When you record a movie, you can just rate it in stars. You can like it with a heart, or you can write a review or do all 3. You can also rewatch movies and change the score, so it's not like permanent if you watch a movie one time. It's like a film diary. So every time you watch something and you record something, you put in the date that you watched it and your experience it at that point. So there are plenty of movies I've seen before that I've rewatched. My goal for this year is anytime I watch a movie, because I was using it for a while from like, I used it in 2019, but I didn't use it as diligently. I just tried to record every movie I watched. But now, anything that I watch, I try to write something about it, like in the review section. It could be like a tweet level thing about the movie I watched, or it could be like my 3-paragraph thoughts about the movie. And I feel more diligent about enjoying and being critical and being understanding of the movies. That being said, I am self-conscious sometimes when I write this stuff because I think like, man, don't be so up your own ass about some of this stuff. Like, trying to be super esoteric about the way that I sound writing about a movie. But that being said, it is not only therapeutic and a good distraction from using, straight up Twitter and Instagram.
Sure. Have you reviewed anything recently that you had strong thoughts on?
Let's see. You'll appreciate this. When I was home, the last thing I watched with my dad, because when my mom goes to bed, my dad and I will stay up and watch something. It could be TV, it could be a movie. The last thing we watched was a documentary about the band Rush, and it is called Rush Beyond the Lighted Stage. It's on Netflix. The thing I've determined about Rush is that I think they are definitely the most raw talent band of all time, collectively raw talent band. I think the best band of all time is Queen, as I think you and I possibly agree. But I think Rush is just raw talent, the best band of all time.
Wow.
If that makes sense. Like, I think Freddie Mercury is one of the best singers, and I think Brian May is one of the best guitarists, and
sure.
XYZ. When you put them all together, they make the best band. But with Rush, Geddy Lee, Alex Lifeson, and Neil Peart individually are the most talented to then create a group, and then just like the music that they create is unbelievable. Watched this documentary with my dad, Rush, Beyond the Lighted Stage, and I had seen this once before. I did not have the heart to tell my dad that I had already watched
He was
this.
excited to watch
He was super excited to watch this, and I did not have the heart to tell him that I had not. I just didn't not tell him. Like I just kind of left it
come up.
Yeah, left it ambiguous. Anyways, my review. My dad had not seen this, and this is a good enough doc to rewatch this soon after, especially when your dad knows every song within it.
No, that's good. That's a really nice review. How many stars?
I gave it out of 5, 4.5. All right. So many of my reviews are obviously they're specific to the movie, so it's hard because I don't want to say something and then there's maybe one person that gets it out there. However, I watched Con Air, the Nicolas Cage action film, on January 26th. This is my review. 45 to 50 decibels, normal conversation. 80 to 85 decibels, boombox radio. 95 to 100 decibels, motorcycle engine. 140 to 145 decibels, shotgun fire. 160 to 165 decibels, jet engine. 400 decibels to 3 question marks, the final 40 minutes of Con Air.
That's funny. I don't think it matters if you've seen the movie or not. That's really funny.
Yeah. So, if you have a Letterboxd account, feel free to go follow me at JCH1526. I love Letterboxd. It's been fun. It's been great. And it keeps me up to date. It keeps me watching movies, so I appreciate that. Anything else you're digging, dude?
Yeah. I did watch for the first time the other day Fiddler on the Roof. Have you seen or heard it?
I have heard of it. I have not seen the movie all the way through.
Do you at least know any of the songs from it?
It's really funny. So when I was in high school, we would go on a band trip every year. And shout out to my good boy Roy. He's probably cringing at this moment because as soon as he heard you say Fiddler on the Roof, he knows that I'm going to bring this up. My good boy Roy was in a junior production of Fiddler on the Roof.
Who was he? Do you know? Do you know the name?
I don't know because he kept it a secret from us because I think he was, at the time, understandably, who would want to express that they were in Fiddler on the Roof. But I seem to remember hearing it from other friends that he had told in in confidence, and then it got out. When we were in high school and we'd go on band trips, Roy had a habit of playing music at 0.25 speed at 2 a.m. in the morning when we're supposed to be going to bed. And one of the songs was I'm going to butcher it extremely, but it was the beginning of the song. I believe it's the beginning. I don't even know what song it is, but I know for a fact it's from Fiddler on the Roof. It's the I'm embarrassed to even do this. Give it a gummin. Give it a gee. Give it a gah. Do you know that? Does that sound familiar at all?
Is it from If I Were a Rich Man when he's doing the bird noises?
It very well might be.
I think that's what it is because he's talking about how he'd have all these birds and he's like, he just does the bird noises. So it's just a crazy man making goose noises.
Oh yeah, this is exactly what it is.
That's great.
I think he must have been what's the lead character's name?
The name of the man is Tevye. Yeah, Tevya, I think it's hard. They all have extraordinarily Jewish names. They are very difficult to remember. The name, dude, it's funny. The name of the butcher that's trying to court Tevye's daughter is named Laser Wolf. And that's the honest truth. Laser Wolf. And it was hard for me to get past that. Laser, instead of an E, has the letter A. So it seems like it is a traditional name for the time, but it was
Yeah.
hard to get past that. Laser Wolf.
Well, and that's the thing is like I never got. I mean, when you're in high school and you just hear your friend do something funny, that's all the context that you get, and you're not thinking like,
Sure.
well, where was that from? My friend was just funny at the time, and so
He still is.
while I have not still seen Fiddler on the Roof, that is the special memory that I hold in my head is
That's great.
him imitating those goose noises. And I thought it was just part of a song, and I think that's what made it sound more funny. The other thing he used to do in that same context was he would play the first part of the Ray Charles song, I've Got a Woman, where he just goes, well, but play it at different speeds of the song. It's very funny. But
I had never seen it. I only knew that it was very long and that I didn't want to watch a very long movie about Jewish men be sad.
sure.
All I knew about it at all before I sat down and watched it the other day was that at one point everybody in town is just shouting tradition.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, tradition. And so me and Angela were like just in the kitchen just discussing something, and like the word tradition came up, and I go, tradition, and she turns to me and she goes, we have to watch Fiddler on the Roof now. I was like, we do? She's like, yeah, that's one of my favorite movies of all time. That movie's important to me, and you reminded me of it, and we have to watch it now. And I'm like, all right. And so we sat and watched it, and it was great. I love it a lot, and the songs were all stuck in my head for several days, and I was watching clips of like live performances with different actors and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It was a lot of fun. It was a fun little rabbit hole to fall down. And I also have developed like a pretty visceral hatred towards Gwen Stefani for like butchering her version of If I Were a Rich Blank.
That's right.
That's where that song is from. Is if I were a rich man,
Right.
and then she does the If I Was a Rich Girl, blah blah blah. Yeah, and like at the time, I thought Gwen Stefani was a rich girl. No, and I was like, hey, this is great.
This is awesome.
And I think I do remember my dad being like, oh, that's from Fiddler on the Roof. And I was like, who cares?
I like Gwen Stefani, Dad.
Yeah, man, she is no doubt the best performer. But yeah, Fiddler was great. It was very long. It was extremely a 3-hour movie. But it was really fun, and a lot of it is very funny. But something that made me laugh was there's a scene where there's like a dream, and in the dream they're being visited by a ghost who's like, upset with a set of circumstances. And I don't know, I've been conditioned to just assume that ghosts are like evil and that they're gonna, when they do a threat, it's gonna be a pretty imposing threat.
Sure.
But this ghost comes up and she's like, if so-and-so does what I think they're gonna do, and I'm ready for her to say something along the lines of like, and I'm gonna ruin their days and drag them to hell and make them know pain like no other. But instead she's like, I'm gonna grab them by the throat and I'm gonna give them one of these. And I'm going to give him one of them. And I'm going to go over there. And I'm going to rough him up. And I'm going to throw him over there. I'm going to kick him. And I'm going to rough him up. Dude, I was rolling. She just went full like... do you remember that episode of Looney Tunes where Daffy Duck and Elmer Fudd are like boxing?
Oh, yeah.
And they're like going over the rules of like, and none of these. And I definitely don't want to see one of them honk. And I don't want none of those boom.
Yep.
It was like, I don't know. It had that energy to it. So, how would you feel if I told you some jokes that I wrote, man? Are you up for that?
Hit me up. I'm ready for it.
All right, let me pull them up. I feel like I wrote some good jokes this week, but I did take a few days off, which I don't normally do. So I might have 2 or 3 hitters, and then a couple of fluffer nutters, and then I may have to reach to into the backlog there. What do I want to start with here? Owning a cat has really made me look at things differently. For example, before I had a cat, I thought I owned shoes. Now I know I just have a collection of cat toilets. It's all right. It's a good one.
Yeah, it's good. I always appreciate your delivery because it's the in your inflection, the wave at the very end, the cat toilets, the up and down. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that I'm glad you enjoy it, but it's definitely my lack of confidence that I feel like I have to say it in a funny voice. I used to get the W for Wu-Tang Clan and Weezer mixed up, but just by looking at me, people knew which one I meant. I'm white, folks.
He's a white man.
I'm a white fella, and I'm an alright fella. Since the quarantine started, I've changed my outlook on things more than I've changed my underwear.
Same. I get it.
It's tough out there, man. You work from home, right?
I
Currently,
certainly
still?
do. Yeah.
Fuck
Yeah. I hardly dressed for this.
Let's see. Daft Punk has a lot in common with my phone because my Android also just stopped working.
This is, if I could, where I would play the just like meme, like the just extreme, like the meme sound. Yeah. It's a good one.
That's all right? All right, cool. This was the joke I did today. I wasn't proud of it, but I was kind of on a time crunch. I'm sure you've heard me mention before, I'm part of a joke writing club. Every morning we have a random word.
Yep.
Today's word was phone. The angle I took was that, I tried to stay hip when texting started to replace phone calls, but all of my clients are blocking me. My eggplant orchard is ruined.
That's a sexting joke, right?
Yeah, the person who owns this orchard is just like fresh eggplants.
What am I going to do with all these peaches? How are you ever going to communicate to your landlord that you have a leak?
Yeah, man. Living here is just peachy. Let's see. I had a joke. This one. I like this one. I think maybe you'll like it.
Hit me.
I was staying at a Best Western, and I was appalled to not see the Magnificent Seven there.
Yep, that was a tweet. That was so good. I loved that one.
You like that one?
That was funny. Yeah.
That was the joke I did for the group that day, but I don't think enough people knew that the Magnificent Seven is a Western movie.
Yeah.
Because that's the joke. And then, I even tried to tag it by saying, I agree, Butch Cassidy is better, but I'm just... Word economy.
Yeah.
All right, I'm glad you liked that one.
Yeah, that's tight.
This one I've never said out loud, so it might not work, but I thought I had met an Australian Instagram model at the hospital, but I guess they were just telling me they had influenza.
I might have texted you this, not to anecdote on your joke here, but
Sure.
I was trying for so long to figure out a way to make a connection bit between influenza and YouTubers. I was going to tweet something stupid, but I never got around to it. That was like, we should coin a new term for whenever we go out and we see people eating out in restaurants and start calling them influencers.
That's just a better version of the joke I wrote, man.
That's
the joke.
I know, but
That's great. Word for word, man. You can post that right now. In fact, pull out your phone. Post that. Come on.
How's that shit?
I wore glasses growing up, but nobody ever called me Four Eyes. By that point, they had already committed to calling me Fatso. That joke evolved a lot because growing up, I did have glasses and I did have braces and I did have excess body fat. Originally, I was going to be like, they never called me Four Eyes because I had braces. Instead, they just called me ugly. But I guess it works that way too. I guess they both work. Being a marijuana journalist is reporting for doobies.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's good wordplay.
Was that good?
You got me looking through my old tweets, and that's similar to one I literally just looked at. That was, not to start jamming on your jokes.
Do it, man.
Section.
Come on.
Aisle vendors at baseball games must really fucking hate the wave.
That's good. Everyone starts the wave, and he's like, "Oh, so you want my Bud Lights?
I can't
enough Bud Lights.
Get all these peanuts to you."
Yeah. You guys are gonna have to share, okay? I only have so many peanuts.
I can't sling beers across the aisle that way.
Yeah.
My pinned tweet is still the first tweet that you and I came up with here for the pod.
Hit
These
it.
farms are made for cropping, and that's just what they'll do. I'm going to feed these pigs, and then the cows
And the
are going to
cow
move.
is gonna move.
You convinced me to get Twitter in December of 2013. You were like, hey, man, Twitter's a good place to just spam out some jokes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember I showed you all the fucking weird Twitter accounts that I was so proud of following.
I still follow some. I mean, at Drill, at Fart. It was just like stuff that you were like, you would never say out loud, but it's really funny to read as somebody's handle.
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
Weed Guy 420.
Yeah, Weed Guy 420 Boner.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was always so proud that he followed me back, but...
Anyways, keep going.
Oh, for sure. Let me see here. I had one that I was sitting on that I really liked. Let me find it. They introduced a new vegan Kit Kat bar. Of course, people have been asking vegans to give them a break for ages. Give me a break.
I really hate to do this, but you just reminded me of the third thing I was digging, dude.
Hit me, yeah, it's fine.
So,
is it Kit Kat bars?
It is It is a commercial. There is a Kit Kat commercial. This is not the thing I'm digging, dude, but when you said Kit Kat, it reminded me. There's a Kit Kat commercial currently going on that is, it's like a little character that is very surfer bro, like, yeah, and he's like surf falling or like skydiving onto a Kit Kat bar. Anyways, that is not the commercial that I'm thinking of. It triggered me to remember that the third thing I am digging is a Burger King commercial that has a fire jingle right now. It is, I need $1, give me $1, and it reminds me so heavily of the "Give me that big dog." Shout out to Eric.
Big dog.
Give me that big dog.
Oh, dude. I still sing that tune, man.
Yeah.
Early on when we were rooming up, me, John, and our other friend and later roommate, Eric, went to Pink's hot dog stand.
Correct.
While we were there eating our dogs, this group of rhythmically gifted gentlemen came in, and they just started this chant, and it just lives on in infamy. You better give me that big dog. big dog. Give me that big dog. Ugh. Big dog. And life was never the same.
We sang that the whole 25-minute drive home. Like,
yeah, and I think I had like a freestyle rap that went with it at one point. I couldn't pull it up my memory bank, but that was a fun night. That was a really fun night. There were so many random like getting to know each other nights early on that I forget about that really were pretty awesome.
Yeah. I treasure them. I derailed you from your jokes.
Oh, you're all good, man. You told me about that other thing you were digging, dude. Let's see here. Whoever said honesty is the best policy hasn't been milking the return policy at Walmart. Oh, man, here we go. I uncovered my wife's big secret when I found her second phone. She's been playing Candy Crush without me. Also, her boyfriend says hi.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this one...
Oh, boy.
So there was a headline about this landlord apologized because he was blasting the Barney the Dinosaur theme to try to keep houseless people away from his building, and that's why they call him the super mean super. The plan backfired because the homeless people started learning. That's mean. That's uncalled for. They're in tough situations.
They're vagrants. They can't help it.
Oh, this is a joke that I really like. Okay, so did you see the headline a couple weeks ago that Kraft sold Planters? You know, Kraft Foods, they owned Planters apparently.
I dig it.
They're probably regretting selling them now that they have some of that post-nut clarity.
That's a good one. That's tight.
Yeah, I had another post-nut clarity joke. You're familiar with the concept of post-nut clarity, right?
Yeah.
Post-nut clarity. You know, when you eat a snack before deciding to order takeout, that's called post-mates clarity.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the joke.
That's a giggler.
Snapchat just added a new feature that reminds its users to sift through their friends list and get rid of inactive accounts. My list is so small. They just told me to delete the whole thing.
Hell yeah.
I have another joke that's like a different setup but the same punchline where it's like, did you see that there's like a new MySpace clone website coming up called the Space Hey or something like that?
I did not.
Yeah, the idea is to try to simplify the way we use social media, but for me, it's never been simpler. I don't even have 8 friends anymore.
God, I can't fill that top 8.
How am I supposed to fill my top 8? I don't even have friends anymore. Speaking of the episode I did with Michael, shout out Michael, I had a joke that I actually really liked that he did not enjoy the punchline I had. So I'm going to run it by you.
All right, hit me.
To see how you feel, and I also have a tag for it. So.
All right.
I've been having trouble sleeping, so I was looking into melatonin, researching it a little, and I found out that melatonin was once used to treat autism, and I think that says a lot about how the medical community treats mental disorders, because it's like you could show up and be like, "Oh, doc, help! I think my kid might have autism," and the doctor's like, "Have they tried getting a good night's sleep?" And that's where the original joke ended. Do you think that's a strong enough ending, or?
It could. I mean, it could use some shape. It could use a. It could use
All right,
a
here's
buffer.
the tag. Then has he tried getting a good night's sleep? And it goes like, oh, we've tried, doc, but he starts counting sheep. I can't get him to stop.
All right.
He gets hung up on the sheep.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
In school, I was a C student, and that the minimum I did was make sure the teacher could see I was there.
That's a good one.
Yeah. All right. Cool. I'll write that down. Here's another one that I think is good. I work at the Olive Garden, where they say, when you're here, you're family. And that just lines up perfectly with me, because the only time they see me is when I need money.
Oh, yeah. That's tight.
That one you were already familiar with?
I was familiar with that one, but that's a good one.
My wife and I have a difference of opinion. I think I should get laid, and she doesn't.
Delayed laugh there, but I was just giving the hang time. But that's tight. Yeah, that's a good one. You probably never want to see Dave Grohl at the place that you work.
Why is that?
Because when you bring him his plate of spaghetti and you say, "Do you want any extra cheese?" and all he says is, "You gotta promise not to stop when I say when."
That's funny. Is that an OG Jon joint?
That's nice. That's right in the four corners of Jondom is comedy, Dave Grohl, things that make my friends laugh, and something I feel comfortable enough saying on a pod.
This is a joke that I don't think is funny.
All right.
But, I've always found it atrocious that barbecue joints want to charge me for their spare ribs.
Yeah, man. Fuck that shit.
They're spare ribs. All right.
Yeah, man. I want those prime ribs.
Energy drinks are being correlated with young people with depression. It would seem the monster was inside of them all along.
Hell yeah.
I'm sure I have at least one more banger that we can wrap up on here, because I'm starting to lose my voice.
Oh, you're good.
When we order takeout Chinese, I like to save the noodles for last, so that way they can be the chow main event.
Oh, yeah. That hits deep. I like that one. Love chow mein. This was, shout out to my good boy Roy, if he's still listening, he suggested I tweet this is it's just, I don't know, maybe Papa John was right. Our day of reckoning will come.
All right, here we go. You know, I can relate to people with a diaper fetish because I also need a partner who is dependable and likes to be pampered.
Oh yeah, good wordplay. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I got to shout out Noel for supplying me with the tag of the pampered. I had originally only come up with dependable. Did you hear about the Atlanta teen who stole $1 million from Kroger supermarket?
I did not.
Oh yeah, no, I just hope he uses those avocados before they get all mushy.
Man, avocados are expensive.
They sure are. How do you feel about landing this plane?
I feel good. Yeah, I've run you up pretty good. I certainly recognize I think I've said this before. I could jaw several hours with you, as we have many times before.
Yeah, man.
But in the interest of landing this plane, I appreciate you having me on and letting me talk about what I'm digging, dude.
Oh, for sure, man. It was a pleasure.
The pleasure was all mine. I
Yeah.
appreciate you immensely, and I hope you're hanging in there.
Anywhere that people can follow you or get to know you or anything like that?
Yeah, as I said, I believe earlier, once again, I am on Letterboxd. My handle is JCH1526. The name is Jonathan Holman. I have a Twitter and I have an Instagram, but I don't have notifications on for them, but they are, I believe the Twitter is JCH708 and the Instagram is the same. So
Perfect, man. And I'll do my best to link as much of that as I can in the description. On Twitter, I am Drew J Fahey. On Instagram, I am Tank J Fahey. Just gotta remember to drink water.
drink that water.
It's good for you. And you know what? Hey, you can't bring yourself to choke it down. Put a little lemon in there. That's gonna change your life.